Here are 50 terrifying facts that will keep you awake tonight. Peaking in the 16th and 17th centuries, bandages soaked in human fat were used to treat wounds on the outside of the body. During that era, nobility and scientists believed that the human body was a key ingredient in medical remedies, and that increased in popularity until it died out in the 18th century. According to National Geographic, some plastics contain additives that make them stronger, sometimes extending the life of the plastic by 400 years. Once plastics are in the water, they get caught in the tides and travel the globe. Researchers found that Henderson Island, a remote uninhabited island in the South Pacific, had trash washed up on it from Russia, the United States, Europe, South America, Japan, and China. Crocodiles can gallop, yes, just like horses do. They can move incredibly fast, and if they catch you, they'll grab one of your limbs and do something called the death roll, where they latch on and spin until you no longer have that limb. Space is freezing cold. Sure, the sun is there, but the baseline temperature out there is 2.7 Kelvin, which is minus 270.45 degrees Celsius and minus 453.8 degrees Fahrenheit. But that's not what would kill you. The first thing that would kill you if you found yourself out in space without a spacesuit would be the lack of oxygen. You'd black out after 15 seconds and be fully dead after 90. Hippos can't swim or breathe underwater, or float for that matter, but they can run, propel themselves across the water floor, which allows them to do scary things. They can be quite aggressive and can be a serious threat to humans. They're territorial, unpredictable, and have sharp teeth. Scientists believe the average person eats 5 grams of microplastics in a week. That's more or less the weight of a credit card. Microplastics elicit adverse health effects mainly by causing inflammation, oxidative stress, and neurotoxicity. There's a rogue black hole in our galaxy. It's 5,000 light years away from Earth and has a mass 7 times greater than our sun. If a black hole were to get close enough to Earth, it would completely destroy the planet by tearing it apart due to its immense gravitational forces. It would essentially spaghettify it, as the side nearest to the black hole would be pulled much stronger than the opposite side, causing the planet to stretch and rip apart. Fir trees can grow inside your lungs. A 28-year-old patient named Artyom Sidorkin reportedly inhaled the seed of a fir tree, which had sprouted and grown in his lungs. Doctors thought they were dealing with a tumor and were stunned when they made the discovery. Be careful what you're breathing in. There's a 1 in 3 chance police will never identify your killer if you're off in the United States. Criminologists estimate that at least 200,000 cases have gone unsolved since the 1960s. If the sun exploded right now, you wouldn't know it for another 8 minutes. The energy from the explosion would be traveling at the speed of light, which means it would take 8 minutes and 20 seconds to travel from the sun to the Earth. 20% of children report hearing voices. Having an imaginary friend may be a child's explanation for hearing these voices, but it doesn't account for all of them. Thomas Hargrove, an archivist on killers in North America, estimates that there are over 2,000 killers at large right now. According to his records, there are over 27,000 cases that aren't even in FBI files. There are about 40 supervolcanoes around the world capable of claiming up to 1 billion lives, and we're about 24,000 years overdue for an eruption. One supervolcano in Yellowstone National Park has a magma chamber that could comfortably fit the entire city of Tokyo in it. Sudden arrhythmic death syndrome is a condition where someone seemingly healthy passes suddenly due to no apparent cause. No cause of this can be found in about 1 in 20 cardiac cases. Botflies are a type of insect whose larvae burrow under your skin. During that time, you can see them move around underneath your flesh. Japanese giant hornets have a bite that can leave craters in your skin or even cause death. They're also attracted to human sweat, so if you live in a hot climate, you're at a greater risk. There are over 200 people who have passed on the top of Mount Everest. Because retrieving them is such a risk, they actually serve as markers for other hikers. Horned toads can squirt blood out of their eyes. This usually frightens predators enough to make them flee. Some species of moths and all butterflies love drinking blood. Some of them can drink the blood of mammals, including humans, for up to 50 minutes. When you pass away, your house cat is going to eat you, and they almost always start with your face. You swallow 1 to 2 cups of mucus every day. That's over 22 gallons or 83 liters a year. On average, you secrete 26 gallons of sweat in your bed per year, which means you sweat a little over 1 cup or 250 milliliters per day on average. The air you breathe in a train station is 15% human skin. You'll shed about 40 pounds or 18 kilograms of skin in your lifetime. Cockroaches have been recorded eating human flesh, both living and dead, as well as fingernails, eyelashes, feet, and hands. The American cockroach and German cockroach are more likely to bite humans than any other species. The dead outnumber the living 15 to 1. Estimates suggest that if all people were buried in traditional graves, it would require roughly 130 square miles of land, which is roughly the size of a city like Portland, Oregon. If you hold in your farts too long, the gas can be reabsorbed into your blood and even come out of your mouth uncontrollably. You are 10 times more likely to get bit by a New Yorker than a shark. You are also more likely to get bit by a New Yorker than you are a rat in New York. If this happens, seek medical attention immediately, as human mouths are filthy, and if an infection gets into your bloodstream, it can kill you. Mosquitoes can smell what type of blood you are. They're twice as likely to bite someone who has type O as opposed to type A. TV commercials emit a tone inaudible to the human ear that your smartphone picks up, letting advertisers know which device might belong to you. This is one way which advertisers work to deliver targeted ads to you. Over 50% of pilots have admitted to falling asleep mid-flight, and of those pilots, 29% said that when they woke up, their co-pilot was asleep as well. If you unwind a roll of Scotch tape fast enough, it can actually generate enough X-rays to image a human finger. You'd need to unwind the tape with a vacuum at 3 centimeters per second to generate that kind of power, but it's possible. The human brain named itself. In fact, the brain realized it named itself. Realizing it named itself. It also realized that if it kept going, it would create an infinite train of thought. Apollo 11 had barely any fuel left when it landed on the moon in 1969. When Apollo 11's lunar module named Eagle landed on the moon, Neil Armstrong, who was the first human on the moon, took control of the module in order to find a safe landing spot, and it's estimated that there was only about 25 seconds worth of fuel left in the tank. If they ran out, they would have been trapped in space. If you can smell something really bad, that's because particles of whatever is causing the nasty whiff have made their way into your nose and have stuck to the sides. Romans used crushed bones to clean their teeth. They were pretty advanced when it came to keeping their teeth as clean as possible and mixed crushed bones and powdered charcoal flavored with mint as a rudimentary toothpaste. Spider blood is blue. Their blood is this color because it has a coppery molecule called hemocyanin. When it mixes with oxygen, it turns blue. There's a fish that has human-like teeth. The pacu, which is found in South America, doesn't have rows of pointy teeth like their cousins, the piranha, but have squarish teeth that look like ours. While in the womb, babies have mustaches. While developing, they grow a fine layer of hair called lanugo and can look a little bit like a mustache. The hair is simply to keep the baby warm and falls away after birth. Around 95% of the Earth's oceans are completely a mystery to humans and remain unexplored. Scientists and oceanographers say that only 5% of the world's waters have ever been explored and documented, so there could be literally anything swimming around in the rest of the seas. Absolutely anything. The human body contains miles of blood vessels. If you took all the blood vessels, including arteries, veins, and capillaries, it would stretch out over 100,000 miles or 160,934 kilometers long. A 2011 study revealed crows can remember human faces of those who capture them. According to another important study, ravens, including crows, jays, and magpies, can hold a grudge for up to 24 months. There's a jellyfish which lives forever. As creepy as the deep is, in it lives the Turritopsis dohrnii, also known as the immortal jellyfish. It's about the size of your little fingernail. It's known to reverse its life cycle and instead of dying, becomes a blob for around 36 hours and begins to become a jellyfish again. It essentially can only be killed by environmental factors or predators, but other than that, it will live forever. A chicken once lived for 18 months without a head. In 1945, a chicken named Mike survived a family's clumsy desire for a poultry-based dinner. The family fed the headless bird milk and water using a pipette and bits of grain and worms. The bird became a celebrity and lived for almost 2 years. A ship was once discovered floating in the ocean with no signs of its crew or passengers. When the Mary Celeste was found, people stepped aboard and found no one there, and no sign of struggle either. The ship was in good condition with no signs of damage except a bit of water at the bottom. What happened to the passengers on board? Where did they go? The Tower of London is haunted by a lot of ghosts. It's nearly 1,000 years old, and spectral guests include the ghost of Anne Boleyn, wife of Henry VIII, Lady Jane Grey, the 9 Days Queen, and even a ghostly bear. There's been lots of grisly happenings in the tower, including killings, beheadings, and more. A dead counselor still attends University College London's meetings. Jeremy Bentham, an 18th century philosopher and scholar and one of the founders of UCL, died in 1832. But that didn't stop him from continuing to attend council meetings. His remains can now be found in the halls of UCL, dressed up in his clothes and stuffed with straw, and has been in attendance at UCL meetings on at least one recorded occasion in 2013. In the meeting notes, he's recorded as present but not voting. The golden poison dart frog is so poisonous, it can kill you with one touch. Their skin is deadly. In fact, it's one of the most poisonous animals on Earth. Because the frogs are so small and delicate, they're vulnerable to predators, so that's why their skin is so poisonous. While only the size of a paperclip, this little frog, which lives in South America, contains enough poison to kill up to 20 people. Scientists aren't even sure how the poison's made. Loch Ness isn't the only lake in the UK with a monster. The nearby Loch Morar is home to Morag, another lake monster who's been sighted many times over the years. And there are loads of other lakes which may contain monsters in the UK. One includes the Muck Shallouk of Loch Maree in Scotland. Also the Ishi of Bassenthwaite Lake in the Lake District, which is said to be a giant humanoid with a snake head. Dracula is based on a real person. The famous vampire is actually based on a historical figure, Vlad Tepes, or Vlad the Impaler, who was a Romanian ruler in the 15th century who liked to stick his enemies' heads on spikes. He was a terrifying man, and Dracula in his original name means son of the dragon, Dracul being his dad's nickname and refers to his fearsome reputation. People used to put cat mummies in their walls. In parts of Europe, including the UK, it was custom to place the body of a dead cat into the walls of a new house for luck. Mummified cat remains have been found in several old buildings, including pubs. Cats have been seen as lucky or superstitious by lots of different cultures for thousands of years, including the ancient Egyptians, who considered them very special. Other items found inside old walls include shoes and magical carvings. But that's it. If you guys enjoyed this, let me know in the comments and be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content coming your way soon. I'll see you soon.